Hey guys, another video for our modern Japanese architecture playlist. Some of you might remember this house. This is one of the new houses that was built next door to the old Japanese farmhouse. So they're sheeted with these sheets of prefabricated stuff that can be made to look like wood in this case, or brick, or pretty much whatever you want, any color you want. But it's all basically the same stuff. It's this prefabricated material that is nailed to a wooden frame and then silicon's put between the sheets. And where it's nailed, they fill the nail heads, the nail holes, with something, probably silicon as well. And then the whole deal is covered with a sort of a resin that they put on, usually with a roller. They use a roller and usually a brush, and usually a small brush to do the tricky bits. But basically just they roll this sort of resin stuff that really stinks. It's some sort of epoxy resin, perhaps. And they just do the whole house like that. Usually these new houses, these new buildings, sometimes small apartment buildings as well, designed to only last 20 years. So this is an apartment building of about 8 small apartments. And this is what triggered the video, because as we went past, we saw the cars covered up. They cover up the cars to stop the resin getting on the cars. But also there was just one guy on the roof with a little can and a small paintbrush. And interestingly, each place that we're going to show you today, there was only one worker. So they come along, they put up these huge scaffolding. The scaffolding company comes along and puts up the scaffolding. And then usually just one or maybe 2 workers get to work. The first thing they have to do is pull all that silicon out. So between the sheets where the silicon is, they've got to remove all that silicon and probably the nail holes as well. And then replace the silicon with new silicon. So what you're looking at there is the cans of resin. So once they've replaced the silicon, then they cover it again using a little roller. A little roller, always surprising how small the tools are that they use. So a little roller or a little paintbrush, and they put the resin, cover the thing with resin again. And they do that every 5 years or so, which is just so much faffing, isn't it? You know, come along, put up that huge scaffolding, and then faff around it. It's usually the houses that you see getting done are usually covered in scaffolding for weeks. It just seems to go on and on and on. Quite often there's nobody there. They put the scaffolding up and then you don't see anybody working on the place. And now and again you'll see someone there, and weeks later they'll take the scaffolding down again, and they've got to do that every 5 years. Usually what they do is the building companies, when they sell people the house, they sell them like a insurance policy or some sort of payment plan. They pay every year, a maintenance system maybe you could call it, and then they pay every year, and then every 5 years the company comes along and does all this faffing around. So that same thing's happening on there on a big shop. So it just seems like a lot of faffing, but it's just what they do. Anyway, there was that. More videos coming soon.